Welcome, everybody.
Hey, everybody. I think we're on time. Some of the things didn't work that we wanted to today. I had all this comments uploaded, but because we switched screens, I don't have them. Anyways, hi, everybody.
Welcome.
We are in the engine room, as you can see. And let's give an update of what's been happening this week and try to answer some questions and stuff like that and address the questions we've been asking on YouTube that you guys have been giving us suggestions about, which is amazing. So Blaine, give an update because it's been a week since they've seen us.
Well, I'll pull this up and show you guys. So we've got, obviously, the wall of power. It's totally clear now.
We'll tell you more about that soon.
Yep. And as you can see, there's a lot of wires hanging back there because I'm currently in the process of pulling every single one.
Show them that. Look how many.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got tons of them. Pulling every single one, labeling it, and coiling it up outside of the engine room. And as you can see right here, this is where the old breaker panel was. Gone. So we've moved that to a temporary location on the other side of that wall. So we have room to play around with this. Room for activities, we'll say.
Not those type of activities.
No. But obviously that wall needs a lot of love. So we're going to get to that. And
oh my God, it's quite holy.
Yep. And then also you can see behind me, there is no more insulation in the walls. Janice has removed all of it, with the exception of maybe just a couple of panels over here.
Because I'm going to wipe.
She's going to hurt herself in the, because there's no panel, there's no.
But over there is all done. Oh, look, that looks so good on screen.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that, guys. And we'll give you an update about that insulation, everything too, on this one, the decisions we've made.
Yeah, so otherwise, things are just clicking along. We got the engines put away in a nice dry location, so they're not going to get rusty sitting outside in the damp.
Yeah. Can you guys let us know if you like us coming live from the engine room? It's cold down here. We've got hot chocolate and stuff, but I think it is so worth it to show you here and coming live here. And we would love to hear your feedback about that, whether you like us coming from the engine room. I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the update this week of what's been happening, which is crazy. Big day yesterday. We had no power in the boat and no water and no anything.
No, that's when we were moving the panel. I had my friend Brian, who works at BC Ferries and does a lot of the electrical, pretty much like all of it over there. He came over and helped me move the panel yesterday. And I'm glad he did. It's not something that I couldn't have done myself, but both of us were at this from, I think, like 11 o'clock. We finished at 6:30 and then went to the pub for wings with them. And then I came back. And I still had like 3 or 4 outlets. I think I finished up at like 10:30 last night.
But we saw the last 3 minutes of the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Go Seattle!
We also, this morning woke up and I had to finish up like 3 or 4 circuits. What did I have?
We had no coffee and tea.
No coffee and tea.
And no water.
No, I got the computer working.
We had no running water.
We had no running water. We had no main salon outlets. And we had no engine room lights and outlets. So I got all that done this morning. Yes. So yeah, it was a big job. So I'm really glad Brian came and helped for that.
And why did you
not have been able to do that?
Why did you move the panel?
Because we need room on this wall for the new panel. The new panel is going to be completely industrial DIN rail. It'll be enclosed. There'll be no breakers visible until you open the panel up. It'll be a much cleaner solution than what we had. And of course, all this wiring behind me, like I said, is getting pulled out one by one, labeled. And it's all going to go back in trays on the ceiling and probably partially enclosed as well with an access panel that we can take off to work on it.
I think the big thing is why we had to do all that is because we still live on board during this.
Yeah, that's otherwise I just reef it all out and we put trouble lamps in here.
I think that's the big thing.
But
we're living on board.
There's wires that have to keep across the engine room here that for our outlets aft, our kitchen outlets. And Janice's computer for editing.
Let's say hi to some people. Rick is here.
Hey, Rick.
William, Barry, Tim is here. RV Sparky. Howdy. I'm not saying that one. You say that one.
RV Netreef?
No, this one.
Ruru.
That one's here. RV Netwave. Hey, guys. Liam's here. I love seeing you guys. You guys are like regulars. This is so much fun. It's like getting together with friends every Monday night.
It is awesome.
Hunt Julian is here. Tim, River Randy, John, Kenneth, Tim, William Barry, Bonita, and Tilson. Oh, they're heading to a Tillman. Sorry, they're heading to a yacht club event.
Ooh, fancy.
Someone said congratulations on your CNN coverage.
Yeah, that was interesting. They reached out to us. So hey.
I was like, okay, we'll tell your story. I think the biggest thing about that story is we want to say is if you wait till your boat's done, you never leave the dock. I think that's the point we want to get
if you're
across.
going to reef it anyway.
But no, the boat is like a metaphor.
A metaphor. Okay, sorry.
It's a metaphor
This
for
is
life. If you're
so
waiting,
deep.
it's a metaphor for life. If you're waiting for the perfect day, it will never happen, and life is short.
Yeah, you just got to make it happen. Get it done.
Julian, suffer down there for us. Fine.
It's pretty rainy and nasty out here this afternoon.
I
Unfortunately, we
know.
had some good weather earlier today, and we were able to get outside stuff done.
Okay. Hi, Connie. Okay, I think we got everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, let's get through. So put your questions there. We'll get through them. But we have asked you guys for suggestions during the as we go, and we have been taking some of them for sure. Like the permanent gantry, I think is going to happen now because that was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it's looking that way for sure.
I'm malfunctioned. Somebody's malfunctioned.
Uh-oh. I don't know. It's still working on the screen, so we'll just carry on.
Okay. What else was I going to say?
Oh, your mouse like that.
Yeah, it could be.
No,
Nope.
that's still working too? No?
So the permanent gantry, the hatches, doing them, so they're kind of permanent.
Yeah,
we're thinking about that
we're
now.
definitely thinking about that. The weird thing about the upper hatch is it's not a perfect rectangle. For some reason, when they put that in, they made
Could we make it a perfect rectangle?
Oh, we will. We'll have to
Oh,
if we're putting a hatch in. Yeah, they did a jog on one side around the stack, and it's literally like that wide. And I can't, for the life of me, think why they would have needed that much more on one section.
I told him it's like when you cut the top of a pumpkin, when you're making a jack-o'-lantern and you put the little notch in the pumpkin so you know which way it sits. I think that's why they did it.
Okay.
Okay, you don't think so?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so one of the big questions we asked you guys and we needed help with is the fuel manifold. Should we move it or should we not? Should we leave it? Now, the majority of you said move, and guess what?
We moved it.
We moved.
We,
So
we were also forced into that a little bit.
no, but they all said to
they,
move it
they
too.
did. Yeah, I would have moved it.
And tell them
For sure
about
we did.
why.
Well, the main reason at this point is we're looking for locations for the batteries, and that's kind of the spot for them back in the back wall. There's not really any other good locations for them. That just seems to fit the way that they're built out. The way that it's set up now, I would take the camera away, but unfortunately that'll kick us off of webcam.
No, but you could show them the tape.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back a little bit. There's a lot of stuff happening, and we are doing what's called a fly in the wall series that we're not actually putting out to the public. I'm sorry. Some of it is behind the paywall because YouTube will not be kind to us by putting that out to the public because the public wants to see action. They want to see movement. They want to see.
Yeah. And while some people would like it, it would generally probably flop.
Yeah. So our online crew or people as members, I'm putting it out to them. Okay.
Just unedited.
Unedited. It's like fly in the wall conversations, and they did just get a fly in the wall conversation. But I don't want to put any pressure on anybody because just by subscribing and watching and everything, you're helping us out a lot.
Yeah.
But there is some fly in the wall conversations
And where she's getting with that is
it's hard to say.
We had one with Brent where him and I were in the engine room here, and we were kind of getting an idea of where everything was going to go.
Yeah.
And that was kind
show
of
them
it.
at the camera.
Yeah. Well, why don't you lift the camera and show, and I will point at the
Got it. Okay, hold on, guys. We're doing a little altering here. And remember, we have no floorboard, so we're trying not to fall down.
It's like a jungle gym.
By the way, if you like seeing us jungle gymming around here, throw a like in there. Okay, hold on, Blaine. Okay, operating the camera. Go.
So with the current batteries that we're looking at, they did send us a diagram, and this is just one of about 4 suppliers that we're currently auditing for batteries. But this one comes in, basically it's going to come out to about here on from the center. So right there to the same on the other side. It would fit just inside of our fill pipe here. But the problem with that one is it goes like right to the ceiling. So this will be a solid stack of batteries, and they come out as far as these green tape lines right here. There's one there, one here. So that's, I think, 32 inches off the back wall.
Hey, Blaine, tell them about your shaft.
Well, it's underneath the batteries. So we're working out some ideas for that. There will be room for me to get in there whichever way it goes. It's not going to be like I can't crawl in there. There will be a fairly large gap around everything. But that will be the worst of the maintenance for sure. But anyway, yeah, that'll come out to there. It'll go all the way to the ceiling and all the way out 32 inches from the wall. I'm going to see if we can talk them into redoing the layout where we can drop it out one more battery width wide, which will be able to take rows off the top to go wider. That'll keep the center of gravity low in the boat because the lower the better. So we'll see how that works out with them. I don't see that being an issue with them. I'm sure they'd be happy to accommodate. So we'll let you guys know how that goes.
While you're over there, talk about the walls, not about insulating, but about squaring them off.
Yes. So talking with Brent, I had never even really thought about this. He's been a boat builder for quite a while, and he says when you have a space, the most pleasing for visual is vertical walls. Things like curvature of the hull on the sides take away from that. So what we're debating doing is making kind of basically a false wall here. So it'll come up, there'll be a cavity in behind, which will actually work out really well for insulation as well. But it'll also give us a cavity to run things through, and there will be access panels for working on things should we have to. But yeah, it'll come out to about probably here up to the top. So we'll have that much of a cavity on the outside that we can work with for feeding things through and whatever else we need to do. And then we're also talking about a wall right here. And this will be a new bulkhead that will go completely across the entire engine room. And that will separate out the machinery space and leave me a workshop and a laundry area in the forward area that will be completely open with nothing in the way. So that's quite appealing as well. And then that also makes it a lot easier to keep the machinery room cooler because there's less air that we have to move. It closes off that area. And I suppose that's another potential firewall as well in case we have an issue with fire, which knock on wood, hopefully we won't be having any of that.
Well, now that you're over here, if you take a couple steps back for me,
Yes.
because of the camera placement here, let's go over the insulation, what we've been talking about, and about now that it's off, how we're going to do a quick clean of it, because we did go through the laser and the dry ice. So they need a decision about that.
We decided that we're not going to be doing the laser and dry ice on this portion of it.
It's too expensive.
It's too expensive. I mean, I'm sure they would even work with us, but it's just, once you start blasting off the oxide coating, then you're opening the aluminum up for other issues with corrosion, with moisture and whatnot. Right now, it's lasted for 50 plus years. It's got a nice oxide coating on it. And like I said, it's lasted this long and done more poorly than what we plan to do it. So I think we're pretty good with pretty much doing anything. We're going to give this a good scrub. We're not going to wire brush it or anything like that. We're just going to clean it up as best we can.
I think we should use my toilet brush on a drill idea.
That's what we did last time.
Works like a humdinger.
Perfect. Yeah, so anyway, this will all get scrubbed really well, vacuumed up. If there's any like heavier corrosion, we'll maybe hit that a little bit with a clean stainless steel wire brush dedicated for aluminum only. And then we can glue some insulation over the top of it. Still not 100% sure. It'll probably be something like a cross-linked polyethylene closed cell foam.
And then something like this that we're sitting on.
Then we'll jam some of that in between it just to kind of seal it off. We debated vapor barrier stuff. I'm not sure if we're going to do that or not, but we're
what is nice about these is they all have limber holes. So this is a limber hole here. Oh, let's see if I can show you. So all these holes down here are limber holes for moisture, which is awesome. And they all have it. So if moisture does get in there, as long as we have airflow through it. But why aren't we doing spray foam?
airflow through it is not necessarily great as well because that introduces moisture. So if we can keep it somewhat sealed, then theoretically, if we get any moisture in there, it will condense and fall out the bottom because we'll leave some open areas down in there, and it shouldn't. I don't know. I am not a.
But look, we have no corrosion.
Professional.
There is no corrosion on
No,
this
it's
from
all good metal.
60-something years.
Yeah.
Also, why aren't we doing spray foam and use your heating duct there as an example of why we're not?
The which one?
Your the exhaust for the ITR.
Oh.
On why we don't do spray foam.
Well, spray foam basically, it's a pretty, well, we'll call it permanent thing to do. Once you get that stuff in there, there is no easy way to get it out. It's in there good. And unfortunately, we have got a lot of spots on the outside of this hull that need some welding done, mainly for like filling heavy areas where there's corrosion from the paint. And I can't do that with spray foam. I mean, it is a nightmare to deal with that stuff once it's in there. Huge fire hazard if I start welding on the outside of the boat. So I would be in here scraping away all this spray foam to try to get the areas where I need welded, and it's just not, it doesn't make sense.
Well, the other thing is like we put in exhaust pipes there, right? Like we do cut holes and add holes and cover things up.
Yeah, that's like these guys here, and these will have to be moved as well. So, because the heater is going to get moved up to the front and out of the engine space. So yeah, it just doesn't make sense for us. And the metal is just not clean enough. It would have to be lasered, and then it would have to have probably like an ialic coating put on or some sort of sealant like an epoxy barrier, DP40, something like that. And it's a huge amount of work just to get it to the point of putting the foam on there, and we don't even want the foam on there. So
no, and for the return of investment, it's not worth it.
It just isn't. It really isn't. We can get it good enough with just some stick-on foam and maybe some rigid foam jammed in the middle.
Now talk about, you guys are getting a whole show here.
Yeah.
Look at this. We don't even have this up on video yet. Talk about the portholes, Blaine.
They are getting deleted.
Sorry.
These, like you see, I got my garbage bags just to keep the wind down. These portholes.
This one?
They're kind of weird in a sense because they are actually, the frame is welded into the boat. You can't even get I don't even know what brand these are. They are very old. All of the adjustment screws are all seized in. They're just, and we've got cracked ones in places. So it would be more work to try to figure out a way to fix them and get them good than to just delete them and eliminate any possibility of a water ingress point in the boat. So what we're going to do is we're going to completely cut those out, weld in patch panels on the outside of the boat, and whatever ones that we had in here that still had good glass, we'll save them or use them on other portholes in the boat, which might have cracks or chips that we can't get new portholes for. Because you can't even replace the glass. They're so old. They've got like a threaded in ring on the outside, and of course that's corroded in place. We got one apart, and it's not going back together again ever. So it's just, we got to make do with what we have on those, and we're just gonna get rid of these because there's, quite honestly, I don't need portholes in my engine room. They just get dirty, and I'm not sitting here peeking out, and we got good lighting, so yeah, we're just gonna.
And now, what about this thing? Explain what it is and what it looks like on the outside of the boat.
That is the ventilation ducts for the engine room. These were obviously original, and people have cut holes in them, which is super stupid because the way they're designed is it's 3 layers. You have the outside of the boat, and it's got an oval hole that allows air to come in. And then it's got this upper portion here that comes down to about right here inside of that air box. So basically, any air coming in, it's got to go down into the air box, then come all the way back up over this lip. And the beauty of that is if you get water that blows in there, it doesn't make it through. It drains out the bottom corner here. So when people start doing stupid things like putting big holes in the air box, they've now destroyed that water separation when you get water coming in. And that side's even worse. They gnawed out a gigantic.
Oh my God, there is a big hole over there.
Yeah, both sides of it. Not like this one, they just did the inside portion. that one, they went through both layers of that. It's just ridiculous. So what I'm debating doing is, being we're not going to be going with as big of engines, and we don't need as much air, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these air boxes down to about right on the inside of that hole, same on that side, which would pretty much coincide right with this rib here. And then I'll put my fan in here, and those will come in here and blow out. So any air that or any moisture that gets blown in, not only do you have the design of the air box keeping it out, you got fan blowing out, and those fans move a lot of air if you want them to. So that just will keep water from coming in there. And then our stack will become our main intake.
I don't know if I can see right up the stack.
Yeah, probably not.
It's close.
Yeah, so that will be our new air intake. So that'll get cleaner, drier air from high on the boat rather than where we've got spray blowing around and everything down here. And that should work out better.
Okay, well, while you're at it, what's the plans for the floor?
Okay, well,
Because you have the engine, where
Yeah.
the engines were. You've got the floor joists.
the motor is going to come out to probably about here. We're thinking somewhere in that area. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave that open because the batteries are going to come out to right here anyway. So where the motor is, we'll leave open for access to the motor. Then the generators will be in front of that. But what will end up happening is we'll end up cutting down these stringers because we won't need them anymore up front. So we'll cut them down to floor level. We'll probably bring the floor level to where these are, the top of these, and that will be the flat floor for the generators. And then it will be just one solid flat floor clear across the engine room, and the 4 generators will sit on that, and that's leaves lots of access on all sides for those.
Nice. Anybody else? Well, we're here. Anybody else want to see something in the engine room while Blaine's up before we sit back down again? I'm watching comments right now. I'm looking, Blaine.
Okay. Look
Pippi is here. Bryn is here. Giorgio's here.
Welcome, everybody.
I know. We got 216 people online. That's
Holy
insane.
smokes.
Did you know it's 30 degrees Celsius in South Australia right now?
That sounds more pleasant. than
I would
what
like
we
to
have.
be warm.
I think we're going to get down to like 1 later this week.
Okay. Blaine, Pippi wants to know what's behind the back wall there.
Those are the staterooms. That's the port and starboard aft staterooms is what you're looking at there. There is nothing in the middle. There's no hallway right there. The hallway is on the other end of the staterooms. Staterooms are right tight together with a wall down the middle. So that is solid stateroom right across there.
Yeah, and then tell them what the plan is for the wall of power, because we have people that are getting their names on the wall of power now.
Yeah, we're going to have the batteries here, which is going to it's going to look pretty cool. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to get plexiglass, like a clear plastic across the front of them. And all the names are going to be mounted on the front of that plexiglass. So they will be visible the second you get in there.
Hey, Blaine, I'm going to pause you. Fred says your mic not be working.
Do you have me on the...
Yeah, I do.
Weird.
I don't know. Talk louder.
Okay. I'll see if I can point it more.
Hi, Burdette. We see you're here. Trust me,
There you go.
and Lee, we'll go through everything.
So yeah, the wall of power, the name plaques will be on the front of that plexiglass, so they will be prominent and visible the second you walk into that space.
So if you guys join as a first mate, your names are going to be up there, or it's a one-time donation, and together that's what's paying for this whole retrofit. Okay, come on, sit back down again, Blaine.
Okay.
That's so cool. I think it's awesome, actually. Sorry, guys. You're going to see my chin there for a second until I sit down. I think what's so cool is being down here in the engine room, though having a floor would be nice. We can lift up the camera and look around.
Give a little tour.
Yes. Okay, so we've updated about the insulation. We talked about the fuel manifolds, which people have given us some great ideas about.
And I'm pretty sure the fuel manifolds are going to be kind of directly behind me here, low, probably right underneath the main electrical panels. Although I'll have to look in ABYC regulations, see if they're nasty about that for any reason. Otherwise, I'll have to move it to the other side of the boat over here.
But being that if we put a wall here, that gives us, I would actually put it on another wall here.
Absolutely, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
You're going to have another wall.
Yep.
So I would put it here because then we can walk straight from there. Poof.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Rick says,
That
good
works
to see
well.
the evening or the plans. I'm like, Rick, we just walked through everything for
Yeah.
you. Okay.
I think you might mean the plans for this, the system, not so
Oh.
much the engine room.
Oh.
Where I'm going to be talking with Brent about that. He's actually, I think, on his way here kind of now.
Yes.
He should be here shortly.
And he might pop in.
And he might pop in. That being said, he might be stuck in ferry traffic. It gets really nasty this
Yeah.
time of day. But anyway, I just want to confirm with him. I want to give you guys something, at least, like I said, we're looking at about 4 or 5 different possibilities for suppliers here. I've got some things that I think are really cool in my own head on how I would like to see it go, but that's not going to mean that it's going to end up being that way. But I'll just check with Brent, make sure he's okay with me sharing that stuff. And I'll just give you guys an idea of what I see.
Let's talk about the suppliers, because you guys have asked
Yes.
about that. So what suppliers have we talked to? Let's go for batteries first.
Okay, batteries. So what we're looking for is someone who can supply, for starters, the complete system. Because that would be ultimately the easiest possible way to get one supplier for an integrated system. However, that's difficult because most of the suppliers are good at one thing or 2 things. They're not necessarily good at all the things, which leads us to going to multiple suppliers for things. And then we run into integration problems between all of these suppliers. So we may end up going with multiple suppliers for individual components. We may end up going with one supplier for everything if we can find one that makes sense. But that's what we're doing right now is figuring out which one's going to work for us. We have talked to Cummins Onan for the generator side of things. We've talked to the guys at Kohler.
Well, let's go back. You did tell about batteries. Who did you talk to about batteries?
Well, I'll get to that.
Oh, sorry.
But I'm on generators
Okay,
right now.
Let's go back. Start listing again. Sorry. I did interrupt it. Cummins.
Cummins Onan. Kohler is another possibility. We're looking at some DC generators from a supplier down south. We're looking at, what was the third one I was thinking of? Northern Lights. Northern Lights gensets was another one we were looking at as well. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it for the generator
Wouldn't it be
suppliers.
cool to put Cummins back in the boat when we took the Cummins
It would
out?
be pretty cool. But they don't make any DC generators. So
And you've been looking at fuel consumption of these generators.
yes, that is one of the main failings that we're seeing right now in the AC generator space. I don't know why that is. I'm thinking that there's just a lot of generator suppliers that have good products for the AC side that they've had for a long time, and they just work. And for a lot of people in the marine sector, if you got a boat, you don't care about fuel typically. Like if you're running generators, people usually aren't thinking about that. They're just firing up a generator and charging the batteries, whatever. So I'm almost thinking that the generator suppliers have gotten pretty comfortable with the product offerings that they have, and they haven't had to expand on them or do anything different with them because, quite frankly, if you're a business and your product's selling, why do anything different?
And we're challenging them on that.
Yes, because what we're finding is, a lot of these, the fuel consumption is not great. And
Sucks.
I mean, the whole point of this for us is economy, or not necessarily economy, efficiency. We're trying to maximize efficiency at every single point that we can. So when I'm getting brake-specific fuel consumption curves from generator suppliers that are not all that good, that concerns me. So we're talking to also DC generator suppliers, and then I have my own things that I'm looking at as far as engines that I want to use that would have a phenomenal brake-specific fuel consumption curve that would work really well with the sizing that we're looking for generators on a DC generator side. So we have the best possible efficiency that we can, because we have a clean slate with the generator. We can build this generator exactly for what we need. And when you can do that, you can maximize every bit of efficiency on every single part by correct matching. So we would really, and Brent's the same way, we would really like to go with the DC route because it just absolutely makes the most sense. It's just making sure that the support is there, where if there are issues with it, that we have options.
Can you put an ECU on these generators and tune them and everything for the best efficiency?
I'd say I could, yeah, absolutely. I could tune them. The trick is, though, is to be able to know what the best efficiency is. And without having a dyno that you can hook that up to or something like that to tell you the power numbers coming off of the engine while you're adjusting the fuel.
We need to take them to an engine dyno here in Vancouver.
But unfortunately, that doesn't even work because then you're still limited by emissions. And emissions are, you've got to have that these days when you're making production generators. So there's a lot that goes into that. So what we're trying to find is a good tier 3, because you're only required tier 3 in the marine space right now, good tier 3 generator that has a minimal emissions package on it, because we don't want SCR, selective catalytic reduction, the DPF, diesel particulate filters. We don't want that stuff. The maximum that I would want to see would be like a DOC, which is a diesel oxidizing catalyst. It's just a basic passive catalyst, and EGR I would accept for that. If we can get rid of either of those, great. But with the diesel running at peak efficiency, a DOC is going to last really well, the catalyst, because they get hot and they just work, and you're making the least emissions anyway.
Now, what I was going to do and what we had set up is we had snippets. I had made snippets of people's comments that were really long, and I knew that it was a good question and that other people would probably have that question too. But again, I screwed that up. So what I'll do is I'll get you to answer those, maybe typing, and I'll put them up in our YouTube community, right?
I can do that.
So thank you guys, by the way, for all of you who gave us some super chats and super stickers last week. It was awesome, and we had pizza, and it was so thankful. Like,
I see Izzy was sitting there going, "Thank you, super chat person." On the internet.
She actually got online to her friends that she was talking to online, saying somebody said a whole bunch of people sent money that on super chat for my parents to buy us all pizza. It was quite cute.
Yes, it was awesome.
So if you have any questions, put them out. I think we've kind of covered everything this week. What's the plan for this week coming up?
We didn't get into the other parts.
What?
We just went to the generators. We still have to talk about the batteries. We have to talk about the...
You guys really want to hear about all that?
Do you know how many people I've had asking for that? Okay, so...
Batteries.
Batteries, we are looking at e-propulsion. They would be one of the ones that we were looking at for like a complete supply. They make marine batteries and propulsion systems. Roypow is a pretty top contender for us. They make the DNV certified commercial style rack mount batteries.
And they're the ones who gave us the dimensions.
That's right, yeah. And they have a very, very attractive package. And they're probably, I would say, the most engineered product. I'm just guessing here. I don't know. We haven't toured anywhere, but they've got a lot into these batteries. And
you're talking through your ass, aren't you?
I've heard lots of good things about them.
Even from what's his name?
Even from Will Prowse.
Even from Will Prowse.
So anyway, we're looking at Roypow. There's also Rossins makes a multi-cluster battery, which is an attractive option as well. Pretty much the only one that seems to be a rack mount so far, I think, is the Roypow batteries. There was one other one. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, the others are more like a module style, which is not necessarily a bad thing because we can mount them low and out to the outsides. Yeah. So I think that's about it for battery suppliers.
Batteries, generators, e-motors.
E-motors. E-motors, we're looking at, I think the two main contenders, or I say three main contenders, would be Danfoss, which is a well-known commercial supplier for propulsion motors. They're all over, and they are tested, proven 100%. They are also one of the top dollar motors out there, so it's real. Exactly. We're working with other options to see what is out there. Rossins has got some really attractive motors. They make, the big thing about Danfoss is it's hard to find motors for the sizing like what we're looking for that have good low RPM torque characteristics, because we are doing a direct drive and our shaft speeds are pretty low. I think even at our max speed, we're only seeing about 1,000 RPM with our current props, and the Danfoss motors just don't seem to be sized for that range, where Rossins offers a big line of motors of every possible torque and RPM range. They have some really good 6-pole options that would work out really well and what we're after. So we do like those. E-propulsion was another one that we're looking at for that. I think it comes from the H100, which is the 100 kilowatt version that they supply. So these are all places that we're going to be actually going to factories and visiting and bringing you guys with us to see how they're all working there. Because I think E-propulsion, Rawson's, Roy Powell, they're all in China. Dan Foss, I think, is over in Dubai. I think we'd be going to Dubai for that. I think the main company's in Danish, maybe. I can't remember, but I think the guys we're talking to about that are going to be in Dubai. We're flying to Milwaukee to talk to the Kohler guys. We're flying to Seattle to talk to the Northern Lights guys. The Cummins guys are here local that we've been talking to, and we've had a couple of, one meeting with them, Zoom call. And then I think that's about it.
It's been a
Northern
busy
Lights
week.
in Seattle.
It's been a busy week of stuff behind the scenes that
Yes.
is really hard to film because it's kind of boring.
I've never been in so many meetings with higher ups in production facilities.
No, but yeah. So I do want to say an apology. I know we put the credits at the end of our videos. I was only doing the Patreon and our fourth wall membership credits. I'm so sorry to everybody who is YouTube membership.
And there's a reason why for that, because the YouTube names don't come in. We just see your YouTube name. And it just basically, we were just putting the names in there as we went.
I'm going to try that for this Wednesdays is I'm going to put the usernames of the YouTube people in there also because we really appreciate, like Philippe just joined today.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. But when I put it on the screen at the end of the video, it'll be, I'm guessing his name is Philippe
The credits.
Rindo, the credits, but I'll just put Philippe R. But some of the people are like,
We're just going to have to put the YouTube handle in there because
I'm just looking through people's names here. Like there is said like,
you got to go back to there again.
well, if he was like a member through YouTube, I would put that 88 on the credits.
And that's just pretty much the best we can do
Yeah.
for that because we don't have any personal data from YouTube for any of you guys that are YouTube subscribers.
But I
so
do
we
want,
can't do names on
yeah,
those.
but I want to personally apologize because somebody mentioned it and we felt so bad.
Mhm.
Because again, this whole operation Silent Running it's a community built with you guys. Like you don't understand how much you're helping us, giving us suggestions and stuff because man, this hive mind that we brought together, you
It's
guys
pretty awesome.
are smart. So it's really cool. RV Sparky.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have A&P experience. Need to find an aircraft APU turbine.
Oh yeah, those
powered baby.
They put out a lot of power,
Well,
those APOs, but they're
Let me
really
explain. Hold on for a second. Blaine actually went to school at Spartan.
Spartan School of Aeronautics, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes. So when RV Sparky says Blaine has an A&P experience,
Airframe and power plant technician is what I'm trained in. And when he says APU, that's the auxiliary power unit for an aircraft when they're in the airport getting recharged. Some of them have them built into the airport.
He has never worked on an airplane.
No, not besides school.
Okay, are you guys ready to do some comments? Blaine, you ready?
Sure, let's do it.
Throw your comments in below. Again, I anticipate that maybe Brent will show up. So if you have any really Brent type questions, if you do have Brent type questions, please put Brent dash right for Brent because we can take that and send it to his team and then we'll put them in the YouTube community. We'll get them answered for you.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think this is really important. We're trying to answer all the questions here. So let's go down. I think we've said hi to a lot of people. Can we move this over just a bit? Sorry. Whoa! No, not that way. That way. You numpty.
You have to be.
No, I just wanted more mouse. Okay,
Oh,
now.
you need mouse room.
Yes.
Okay.
Look what you did here.
What are you
Look at the camera.
It was like that before. It's all
Oh,
good.
gosh.
Where we go?
Okay. Let's go. Rick, RB Sparky. I'm not seeing the O guy. Lovely day in South Australia. RW Net Ray, Liam, Tim. Look at everybody. John, Kenneth. Congratulations CNN coverage. Oh my gosh.
You're looking for questions.
I know this mouse is sticky. Tim, wall of power. How many gigawatts or megawatts are we talking?
1.31 gigawatts.
But you were talking about the Back to the Future gigawatt thing today. What were you talking about? We're putting a sign on the outside of the door.
Oh, like a radioactive sign or something, and gigawatts.
Yes.
But to answer the question, it's currently looking like right around the 400 kilowatt hour battery bank size, roughly 1.2 tons of batteries.
You need to fix this camera. It's driving me absolutely crazy. We are not centered. We are all awry. Driving me crazy.
So sensitive.
I know. Sort it out.
There we go. Is that better for you?
Sure. Yes, it is actually. Okay, I'm sorry. We are a bit awry today. Said that a couple. Engine room is cool. Thank you. We will continue to do these lives from the engine room from now on.
Yeah, we've
until there's some reason we can't. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I'll be removing a lot more of this wiring too for you. Those of you that missed it, that's all getting pulled out to where it's originates and labeled. So when we get the new panels in, we can pull it back in again.
So like what NetRay says, the engine room is the focus of this whole refit. So it makes sense to do the live stream from there, so we can see changes week to week. You know what we also have? Tell them about that.
Oh, we've got a. I'll show you.
No,
guys
don't
here.
show them because you'll get it all awry. I'm saying awry a lot. Just tell them what it is.
It's a time-lapse camera. So once all this is done, and it just is constantly running, once this is all done, we'll have a good time-lapse video of this entire project, or at least a good portion of it.
I'm going to have to edit out scratching your nose or picking your nose or scratching your ass or something.
Well, sometimes I'll come right in front of it and I'll stick my finger up my nose and stay there until it gets a picture.
Aurora says, turn on the hydronic heater.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's sitting right next to the computer here with nothing connected to it. So it won't turn on very well.
Bonita says, keep the hot chocolate going. It is. It's missing some Cabot Trail, though. We got to go get some Canadian Baileys. Cabot Trail is our favorite. It's like a maple syrup Baileys, which is amazing. If anybody hasn't tried it and it's in Canada, you should try it. Tim says, make your walls glossy white epoxy.
They are going to be, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like a Formica. And the reason why is because I wanted a nice hard surface that's easy to clean, and that I don't have to worry about scratching like a paint. I know epoxy is really, really tough as well, but you can bang Formica around pretty good without doing major scratches.
Also, if the walls are square, it's going to be easier to put it in versus the curve.
Yeah, exactly. We just glue it in. So that's the current plan, is to do it all out of Formica.
This whole engine room is going to be white.
It is going to be very white.
Liam wants to know how we're keeping warm now that the heaters are the engine room.
In the main part of the boat, we've got space heaters. So we've got a couple of big block space heaters in the main salon.
Nothing in the
bedroom. I do have this guy down here, though, which does take the edge off, but it doesn't keep it warm or hot.
Just wear lots of clothes.
Yeah.
Hey, at least we're not doing this in Alaska like we're supposed to.
Yep, and we don't mind the space heaters. They can be pretty dangerous running on boats, like at docks when there's nobody ever living on there. Matter of fact, there was one boat that caught fire over on Vancouver Island this past week, and one of the things that they're possibly looking at is space heaters that people leave on here.
This is the Nordhavens that sank.
Yeah, but we're on board 24/7, so it's not like we're just leaving them.
Connie, are you going to reinstall the insulation prior to installing the new equipment?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're reinsulating this whole wall, and like I was saying earlier, there's probably going to be a false wall. It'll be a real wall, but just a solid vertical wall that is going to kind of go all the way down to the end. I think if we do put the bulkhead here in the middle, then when I redo the day tanks, I will use that as the wall in this forward section. So that won't be dead space back there. That'll be used for a tank to follow the hull shape.
Oh yeah, what are we doing with the day tanks? They saw them taken out, and you said you're going to chop them up or something.
Well, I was debating chopping them up, but by the time I end up chopping them up, I'm easier just to buy some metal and cut out some shapes. I could probably even draw it up in CAD and have it water jet cut, where all we got to do is weld it together.
So we're thinking about making new day tanks.
I think so, because they're not going to be very big. And like I said, if I can make the taper into the side of the hull here, then that automatically takes care of my vertical wall as well. It becomes the wall.
And you can say here, like this taper, if
Yeah.
our day tanks, and we'll still have port and starboard because we love having a port and starboard day tank because then you can move fuel back and forth to balance out the boat.
Yeah, because it never sits perfectly flat at all times. I mean, it changes depending on how much fuel load we have on board, if we have the tender on board, things like that. So I need to have something to be able to move the boat back and forth, and moving fuel back and forth is the simplest way to do it.
Rocky says it's 25 below where he is, and he's living vicariously through us as we're sitting here with our toques
As
on.
we're sitting here in the tropics.
Benita and Tillman love the crew updates. Oh, EIS Alaska's here. Hey, you guys have to watch Emerald Island Seafood Alaska. Their shorts and their YouTube and their Facebook is amazing. So please go follow them. I love watching them fish and bringing up the stuff and everything. So please follow Emerald Island Seafoods. They're just, please take me out fishing with you when we go to Kodiak.
You see the angle she's working here?
Yes, I know. I'm begging here.
They can see right through you.
RG Arizona Homestead. Hello all to the chat. Love watching you guys.
Hello.
Thank you. Connie wants to know if the installation is going to be fire rated.
It will probably be like, depending on where it is, the stuff on the ceiling will probably be like a rock wool that would have some fire rating. The outside stuff on the outside of the hull, there's no staterooms on that side. It's hull on the outside. I don't know if it's going to be fire rated or not. I mean, certainly it'll be some sort of fiberglass for some of it. Some of it won't be. And then we might pack that wall cavity with insulation. So I don't know. I don't know.
Slick D says, hi, Janice and Blaine from HBG, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg.
There you go.
The Canadian gets the short form.
Nailed it.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's got to be Harrisburg. Okay, I want to clarify Northwest Coast. I thought it was Northwest Coast for the longest time until I saw your name was actually Northwest Coast, which is brilliant. Spray foam will crack with the movement of the hull as well.
Yeah, good.
I didn't know that.
We don't find the boat to be super flexy, but I don't know.
Like Rick says, that seems like an awful big hull to spray foam.
Yeah, and it's just so messy when you're doing that stuff.
Yep.
I wouldn't even want to do it.
RV Sparky, I think we already answered his question. He wanted to know what the boxes were, the protrusions.
Yeah. Air boxes.
Pippi, are you considering painting with epoxy or a weldable primer that if you had to weld later, it's not a lot of work to remove?
I don't think so. And the reason being is because, where it comes right down to it, the boat's not needed it. It's 50 plus years old, and with the way that it was already, it's lasted this long and it's still in great shape. So honestly, we're just going to do the same thing again, because I would reckon that the chances of this boat going for another 50 years is probably slim. But
you think so?
50 years? That's a long time.
I don't think so. I think she's got good bones.
Yeah. But anyway.
I have a question for you about these air boxes, like you guys can see behind us. If you're going to make them half the size, I'm guessing you're going to weld up half the vent on the outside of the boat.
Yes.
Can we grind that flat and make it look pretty?
Yep. It look like the rest of the hull.
Okay.
There's always a little bit of, the aluminum's a slightly different color at the weld. Always, like when you clean it and polish it up, it's got a slightly different color, like a lighter. But the shape-wise, it'll look just like part of the hull.
Okay.
You'll just see the weld.
Got it. Bryn says hi. Giorgio says hi. Pippi, what is behind the back wall? We answered that. Burdette's here. We always love when Burdette's here. Actually, we love when all of you guys are here. But some of these guys have been with us since the very beginning.
Yes.
Lee Gordon, are you looking to do a complete lighting system for the engine room with the LED lights?
Actually, funny enough, these ones that you see in here, they are LEDs. They're in T8 fixtures, but they're LEDs that are made for T8 fixtures. I don't know if we're going to be keeping these exact ones. I actually quite like them. As you can see, it's pretty bright in here, and they're minimal wattage on these as well, for compared to what we had in here before anyway, which was really sketchy.
Time to do some sketches.
The back corner over here, where it's a little bit darker that you can see behind us, the reason why it's dark over there is because there's actually no light there. I ran out of fixtures. These were some that I had left over from my old shop, and I just didn't have enough to get all 6 of them. So we'll have to put one in that back corner back there, and then that'll really light up that back section
That'll
too.
look good.
Yeah.
Tim says, are you going to have a big knife switches like on Frankenstein?
No. That'd be hilarious.
What's a knife
though.
switch?
That's the they've got like the terminals that look like this, and they've got the big blade that drops down into them.
That would
Old
be
school
cool.
stuff.
That would be cool.
No knife switches.
Yeah.
I don't think they would be ABYC approved.
Liam wants to know. So Liam sent Blaine a handmade picture of a flange set for the upper half, right? The hatch for the upper hatch.
Yep.
Liam wants to know if his picture makes sense to you.
It made sense, and we might end up going with something like that. I got to put a lot of thought into it, and quite honestly, what it's going to end up being is how much time we have. We've got a ton of projects.
But a lot
to
of that
do.
we can do as we're moving also in different places.
Maybe some of it we can't though. Some of it's going to have to be done before we leave. And I just, while it seems like we have a ton of time while we're waiting for things, I think it's going to go like that. I mean, already we've been a month,
I know.
and while we've gotten a lot done, it just doesn't feel like we've gotten enough done.
We got to get stuff ordered.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
But Liam, we really appreciated your taking your time and doing your picture. Yes.
Because ultimately, I'd like to have something easy like that.
It really made sense. Richard says our teamwork's amazing. Can't wait
Aw,
until the
thanks.
install. How long will the project last?
I mean, honestly, once we get the parts in, that part of it will probably go pretty quickly. This part is what's going to take the time, and the getting the parts. Because right now we got started a little late on the project. Personal life gets in the way, and unfortunately, there's some wait times on some of the parts, like generators is going to probably be the big one for us. That could potentially cause issues with time frame.
Yeah. I was going to say something else. We do have labor coming in, or like skilled labor. We aren't doing this whole repower ourselves like we do with the Cummins. Like it wasn't just us.
Yeah.
So we do have Sea Power Marine that are going to help with the install electrical and hooking everything up. And they are the ones who did Project Karma, who did Brent's boat, and they
do
did
phenomenal work. Yeah.
Man, they're good. And that's Sea Power Marine. So
and that'll take a big load off of me to not have to get all the wiring done. I mean, I'll still get all of this wiring that you see behind, but they'll be helping out a lot with the generators and the high voltage stuff, and while I'm working on other things, because believe me, I got plenty of other stuff to do.
a lot of it's going to be cutting off the floor and everything and doing all that too.
leveling
Lots
the
of
floor
welding.
off.
Yeah. So Blaine's got to get on that.
I'm just sitting around these days.
Yeah. Pippi, thank you. Let me know if I can make laser cut acrylic names and logos for you up to 310 by 250 millimeters. I'm only a few hours away. I can't afford to join your website as a. It's okay. Seriously,
totally.
just the fact that you're here, Pippi, we are not pushing people for membership. We just want to be very transparent about that. The money from memberships helps a lot with paying for this project, but also you guys, by subscribing, sharing, and commenting and liking it, YouTube loves that, and they're the ones pushing out the videos. So thank you very much, Pippi.
And we will keep that offer in
yes.
mind as well.
Kenneth Cole says Victron all the way.
I like Victron. I like Victron a lot, actually. Unfortunately, Victron doesn't offer things in our voltages.
No.
They are working on a high voltage inverter, the RS something, I can't remember, RS9 maybe. Unfortunately, it's been in the works for like a year, and it's still not launched to the general public. It's got MPPT built into it. It's got room for, I think, up to like 800 volt batteries, and it's a pretty big inverter unit. It would work great, but like I said, it's just not available. So I don't know if that's going to be
I don't like the color of Victron.
You don't like the blue?
No.
I don't mind the blue so much. It doesn't go with a lot of our colors, but I do like how it all integrates with each other. I like the online monitoring of it. I've been using that stuff for ages, and I've got probably 7 installations on my VRM setup that I monitor all the time. And I do like that about it.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know if it's going to be something that we're going to get.
Who are we looking at?
That's actually same as the question earlier, what we talked about earlier. It depends on the supplier. We are looking for a complete system supplier for ease in integration. However, I don't know. We've got options there as well. We're looking at, I think one of the ones that I looked at, there was I can't remember the name of the company now, They were overseas company.
E-Power, E4, E.
No, EG4 doesn't make any high enough voltages. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the company now. They make a high voltage inverter that's got MPPT built into it, which the built-in MPPT isn't necessarily an issue, but because replacing a failed MPPT module if it was outside of the inverter is a lot easier if it was inside of the inverter.
Sure.
But we've also got power supplies here that we might be able to use. They're really big. They're rack mount power supplies, which I like a lot. They do the voltages that we want to do, but they're not technically marine. That being said, Victron isn't either. They don't pot all the boards down with sealing coatings. So
Victron is not technically marine.
They're I mean, they're everywhere in the marine sector, but if you open them up, there's no conformal coating on the circuit boards. There's,
Interesting.
As far as I know anyway. I've had a few open. I don't recall seeing any of that.
No. River, Whisper Power. Kay is still here. Oh, finance. Can we get a basic finance overview? 60,000 lost in the comments. Yes, we're going to get money back from that. We have quite a few of stuff we can sell. Blaine's day job is this and YouTube. That's Blaine's day job. Or in retirement. I am the one who is close to retirement, and I have the pension from policing. Total outlay for this, I don't know exactly. I'm guessing it's probably going to be around the $200,000 range.
Possibly more.
We are having some deals with OSEA because we are the first of their kind. We are paying for this ourselves, but there is some stuff we'll probably get at cost.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to be totally transparent with you. Okay.
Yeah, we are getting discounts on the components.
Yeah.
And like I said, they're not giving them to us for free. It's just a cost kind of thing.
The also good thing for OSEA is by doing it here, they will know the cost so they can tell future people what the cost is for a project like ours. So we are keeping track of all the dimes and pennies. Okay. Yeah. Even down to our labor, which we didn't keep track of in the comments. We are keeping track of it here is our labor hours.
Yep. And depending on how that goes and what we end up doing with this setup and what we could possibly end up developing, there's grant money that might be available as well. That could help with paying for some of the project too.
But we are not millionaires. Blaine was self-employed as a mechanic, and I was a police officer. So we had a fairly good wage. Police make quite a bit more money in Canada than they do in the States. And I do have a pension. I do have a disability pension also. But yeah, our finances are the same as you. We've got credit card debt. We've got everything like that. And
I will point out as well, there's been concerns about some people thinking, Brent's taking us to the cleaners or snake oil salesman kind of thing. And I want to assure you guys, like he's legitimate. There's no snake oil stuff there. But OSEA is actually financing this as well. Like there's no outlay for us right now on this project.
It's a loan.
So it's not like we're giving them all of our money and we're going to end up with whatever we get in the end. They're paying for this up front and it's a loan for us. So if it doesn't work, I mean,
OSEA also guarantees a 10-year warranty, guys.
That's right.
10-year
guarantee. It's pretty much
and Brent's one of those
whatever
guys,
fails is taken care of.
Yeah, Brent's a handshake guy, but we do have stuff on paper. It's just been really good. So don't worry about us. We definitely crossed our T's and dotted our I's, and we are working through everything. So hopefully that answered your question. Kay is still here, but we are just normal people. We have credit card debt. We have paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, we're just crazy. Oh, and YouTube does help too, and the membership does help. So thank you very much. Alf says hi from Norway. Oh, Liam, are the curves as good as you got the Cummins to do?
The problem is with the Cummins is I don't know. I can't. There's no fixed data that I can go with. They're in the boat, and I mean I can get calculations for what it takes to push the boat through the water, but obviously there's leeway there. So I've got no tangible way to tell what the fuel burn is on these engines, like the efficiency. You would need a dynamometer to hook the engines up to get exact readouts on what they're putting out. Compare that to the fuel burn instantaneous at that point, all of which things I can't do on the boat. So while the 4.5 gallons per hour was good, I have no idea where we are in the efficiency range. Judging by the only efficiency plot that I can find, because you can see on marine engines, you have it's the prop curve. So it'll show the power of the engine, it'll show the prop proponent curve, and then at the bottom, a lot of them will show fuel burn. That fuel burn is just what it's making at maximum power. So it says grams per kilowatt hour and it shows a line. That's based on your high load. That is not everywhere. So what happens is when you load down the engine, in our particular case, 20% of load, the efficiency is terrible. The old school diesel guys, you'll know, like wet stacking, all of that stuff. That's all just poor efficiency. That's fuel not burning correctly, wasted fuel. So that's where we're getting efficiency in this build, is all of that poor efficiency range that we were running our old engines in, we're getting back by running new engines in a much higher. And I'm talking like 30% higher efficiency ranges potentially than what we were with the old engines. But to answer your question, Liam, I'm not sure. I don't know where we were with the old engines. And let's just say that the efficiency plot that I found, which is an actual proper plot of efficiency, was pretty generous for the Cummins. Like, some of the most efficient engines in the world are the big diesels and ships, and it was showing numbers like that. And I'm like, that's not happening.
Kay is still here, wants to know, are you thinking of the Duramax 3.0? I suppose you'd need to run it deleted.
Not really thinking of any of the typical Duramax or those types of engines in this. We are going specific industrial engines. We're looking at like the Kohler KDI 3404, which was launched in, I think, 2015. Was Diesel of the Year in 2015. They use it in all sorts of industrial stuff. It's used in gensets. It's used in backhoes and all that stuff. We're looking at the Kubota engines. We're looking at, obviously, the Cummins engines are one of them. We've looked at Yanmar as a possible one. So yeah, we're reaching out to a lot of different places on that. And the best one I found so far was the Kohler. The 3404 has got a phenomenal fuel burn on it, and it's also got balance shafts, which means it doesn't vibrate as much, which is always a good thing when it's in your home.
Very much so. Now, Captain Larry says the boat that he worked on has a John Deere generator, so they burn about 50 gallons a day.
Yep, and it's tough to go by the day, because there's, how much power is it generating in that day, especially with the AC generators, because they're loaded and unloaded. And, with the way we're going with these, where they're a constant speed, constant load generator, we're wanting to size the generators and use the engines that get the best possible grams per kilowatt hour at that point.
So let me clarify here, because I was getting confused about this, because that seems high to me. But then I remember we only do like 7-8 hour jaunts a day, and our generators don't run all the time at all. Like in the summertime, we weren't running our generators at all, because the solar is doing the batteries. So we went from May, June, July, August, September to almost October in Canada without running our generators, or maybe we ran them for about 4 hours total. Like, it wasn't much.
Yeah.
We don't go to the dock, we don't plug in. But because we have solar, we're going to add more solar to the roof, that will charge the batteries also. So I can't see our generators running very much, which will help with the fuel efficiency, right? Yeah. And also, you were talking about running one generator versus all four. Can you explain that again, on how it levels up and down?
Yeah, so I'll go back a little bit. And I mean, this is very coarse math. I will let you guys know. Say, for example, we've got our two Cummins engines, and we're using them to propel the boat. Those engines, each one of them burns 0.9 gallons per hour without even being in gear. If you're sitting there at idle, it's burning 0.9 gallons per hour. What that tells me, common sense, is that it takes 0.9 gallons of fuel, the energy from that, just to turn the engine. So if you consider you have two engines burning 0.9 gallons per hour each just to turn themselves, that leaves 2.5 gallons to propel the boat at our cruise speed. Then take one of those engines and get rid of it completely, because you're only running one engine, and then reduce the size of the other engine to where you're only using what you need out of it. And a smaller engine is going to take less power to turn at idle, because there's less engine to turn. So you'd go from a 0.9 gallon per hour to turn the engine to a 0.5 gallon per hour to turn the engine. And then you're also running the engine at peak efficiency. So you're gaining, that 2.5 gallons an hour for pushing the boat through the water is going to get pulled down as well because the engine's just going to be more efficient. So with the 4 generators, what that allows us to do is we'll run just one small 50 kilowatt generator, which is enough to propel the boat at our cruise speed. It's going to be running at high efficiency areas, like 80% to 90% load. And if we need more power than that, it'll just fire up generators to supply the load. Now, at our full speed, we won't be as efficient as what the diesels would, because by that point, our diesels would have been running at peak efficiency, or at least as close as possible to it. And they are going to be more efficient than what we would have here now.
Full speed being 12 knots.
Full speed,
which we never do.
Which is like 1% of the 99% of the time that we use this. So what we're doing is we're basically just flipping our efficiencies and getting the best efficiency for 99% of the time and crappier efficiency for 1% of the time.
I hope that makes sense. There's going to be a lot of naysayers, and we have no problem with that. Naysay away.
Yep.
This is what we are building, and we have a total belief in the system that it's going to work.
There's a lot more math that goes into that, and obviously there's losses on the electrical side. Excuse me. But the benefit of the electrical side of things is we are designing this stuff so we can make it all be at peak efficiency. So anytime you're seeing an efficiency rating on, say, a generator head, we can hit that. Like, we will hit peak efficiency because we are designing the package to hit that peak efficiency point.
Tim says a generator makes a good dyno for an engine.
It could, yeah. Yeah, because you have a specific output of it of 50 kilowatts, especially in our particular case, because when those come on, they will be at their peak load of 50 kilowatts. So yeah, we could 100% get our fuel burn off of that and tell you exactly what they're putting out for grams per kilowatt hour.
And just for those who don't know, a dyno is a dynamometer, and it measures everything.
Torque and horsepower.
Torque and horsepower. So when Blaine's first company that he had was called 5252 Motorsports, and he had a dynamometer for cars, and 5252 is where torque and horsepower always meet.
Yep, doesn't matter the combustion engine.
5252.
You'll always cross the horsepower and torque lines at 5,252 RPM.
So I love the name of that company. That was cool.
Except you don't really find diesel engines that get that high.
No. Burdette wants to know, can you split up DC with AC secondary? Ooh, both. You were talking about this.
I'm not sure exactly what he means by that.
Split it up.
DC
like
with have
AC secondary.
Like a DC generator and then have an AC as a backup. We absolutely could, and I did.
2 ACs, 2 DCs. We talked about that.
Yeah, I did actually talk about that with Brent. And if we did something like that, what it might be is maybe even 2 AC generators and 1 DC generator. Because like I said, when we're running more than 1 generator, that's our 1% point. So quite frankly, I don't care if we have a crappy fuel efficiency at that point because we're never using it. It's so infrequently used, it's not going to make any big hit on our overall fuel consumption. So what I was kind of proposing was doing 2 AC generators for just pure reliability, generators that have been around forever, super easy to get parts for, whatever you need to do. And then have 1 DC generator that would be our main prime mover that we can do testing with. Because we're not going to find anything that's pre-made for what we're after in a marine setup. We haven't found anyone that's doing that in a tier 3 engine. So we are going to have to work with somebody to design and make this system. And yeah, that it's going to be testing on that one.
I do want to apologize. I totally forgot that I can put comments up, guys.
Oh.
I know, and I haven't been. Ben says, hi from Steveston.
Hey,
Ben.
Close by.
Neighbor. Kay still here says, don't do EGR unless you're doing super extra bypass of filtration.
I typically do bypass filtration on my engines. I like that part of it. Unfortunately, it's not easy to find emissions engines that are new, that have really good fuel consumption numbers. that you can get away with that or away from that on. I'm pretty sure the Kohler, it does have EGR. Yeah, but Cummins does make some that don't need anything. However, when we were talking to the Cummins and Onan guys, the numbers that they were giving us for specific fuel consumption were not ideal. They are obviously an option, but from what I've seen on most of the AC generator side, they're all kind of up in that same range. So we'll see.
Izzy's gaming upstairs. I do want to mention and put a bug in your ear. We are trying to figure out flooring for the boat, and we have been looking, or for the engine room, and we have been looking at what Dallas is doing with the honeycomb. So if anybody has any other ideas, we'd much appreciate it. Blaine hates diamond plate.
I really do. It's pretty for a little while. If you get salt water on it and don't get it off right away, it looks like crap, and it's really hard to get back pretty again. I want something that I can get dirty and just wipe it off, scrub it, and have it back to clean again.
Yeah, so we're looking for huge suggestions about flooring to put in the engine room.
Yeah.
And we're not putting in carpet.
No. Fiberglass wood would be a good option too. Cleaned up with some non-skid on it, stuff like that.
Yep. RW Net Wraith, Jamie Morgan.
Yeah, Jamie Morgan.
Tired, yeah. What about shore power converter regulators?
Where I'm leaning on that is we're going to be traveling a lot of places in this boat, and power is different everywhere. That's one of the things that I learned working on yachts. We were always scrambling, trying to make shore power connections work wherever we were.
We sailed around the world on those. It's amazing the country we went to.
So what I'm thinking of doing in this configuration is basically having very little connected to shore power. Everything on the boat will be powered off of inverters, and I'll have backup inverter as well. There won't be any tie to shore power directly to the services on the boat. And then I can get wide voltage range chargers to charge the battery bank. And that gives me the ability to hook up to whatever voltage I want, whatever frequency I want, and the battery chargers will just work. So it doesn't matter where we go in the world. All I have to do is make a shore power connection adapter, and we can plug in, and it just tops up the batteries, and then the batteries handle the loads on the boat.
And again, we don't go to a dock very often. No. When we get to Japan, we will have to go to the dock because they recommend it.
And that also makes shore power isolation really easy to maintain, because you're only looking at a few chargers.
Now, Bryn wants to know, can you run NEMA 2000 over Ethernet Cat5 wires to save a bundle on cables, or do you need the good cables only?
I don't see any reason why you couldn't run it over Ethernet as long as your cable impedances were correct. Mm-hmm. I have to check that. I know, like if you look at any of the Victron stuff, they make cables to tie into NEMA 2000, and they use Ethernet cable for those adapter links. So, I mean, I don't think it's sensitive enough. And typically, when you're dealing with issues with NEMA 2000, it's usually on pretty big networks, because that stuff is made to span pretty far. That's where you start dealing with reflection issues and termination and stuff like that. Usually on smaller networks, on smaller boats, it's a lot less sensitive to crap, to be frank.
So Rockies in Ottawa, I kind of feel bad. It is 25 below zero. Yeah, I grew up in Thunder Bay. I hear you on that one. All the pipes are frozen coming in and going out. The way I feel right now, I would live in a rowboat. Yeah. And living on a coast is expensive. We are of a coast where they don't like liveaboards. So lots of that's happening, but we are in the same boat. I think Victoria is number 3 for the most expensive places to live after Toronto and Vancouver. So,
I think Britt's here.
Yeah. Maggie, our guard dog. Connie wants to know the size of the e-motors.
Size of e-motors, that's a bit of a tough one. Where for power output, 100 kilowatts is all we need. However, it's going to depend on what we can get for torque. We're going to need a motor that can supply enough torque, because now we're going to direct drive. There's no transmission to make that for us. So whatever we go with, the torque is going to be the most important in this particular aspect, and whatever we get for kilowatt past that is what we'll end up with. We're probably looking at the 1,000 to 1,200 Newton meter range motors. That would be continuous with peaks over 2,000. He'll make his way down.
Will he? Hello, Brent. Hey, Brent, we're in the engine room.
He'll find us. I messaged him.
KPT Bill Burkett. Aloha and good afternoon. We just got our power back on. Glad we didn't mess all of the live stream. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here.
Well, the power came back up.
3 videos a week might be ambitious. Do you guys not like them? I don't mind doing them.
We can take input on that because it's
take input. If you guys don't like 3 videos a week, we could go down to 2 or 1.
Janice can get it done, but
let us know.
Working a
Feedback,
lot.
man. We don't mind it. We were trying to do this in real time, and again, we're using your suggestions. So if we're not doing the videos more recent, the stuff you're seeing every week, we can't operate on. Does that make sense? Because we're using your suggestions, we want to put them into place. We really want your feedback right away. And I know a lot of you don't like watching builds where you've got a great idea, you give it to them, but it's like they did that a month ago. So they're asking for suggestions from stuff they completed a month ago because the videos run about a month behind. So if you notice from my day stamps, we are running about a day to 2 days behind. So the stuff coming out on Wednesday will be me ripping out the installation today, Blaine doing the wiring, and whatever we do tomorrow. Okay, so we're about a day behind, but we love your suggestions, which is why we're doing this in real time. And a lot of industry insiders are actually watching this build because we are the first to do this with Brent. So it's going to be interesting. I just lost my husband. Do you have enough room to rejig the day tanks to triangular install behind the new sidewalls, out of sight and keeping new room in keeping with OCD? Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. And we chatted about that for sure, is rejigging the day tanks to be triangular and rebuilding them to custom fit in behind the wall that we're going to build. Alf, I love to follow you. I'm on your journey to Japan. I have followed you since the beginning. Aw, Alf, thank you so much for following us from the beginning. I love that.
Brent is here. His truck's here. I'm not sure where he is. And quite frankly, I'm not sure where the dog is now either.
Oh, geez, Willikers. The company I work for uses Corvus Orca energy storage system and Caterpillar generators. So Captain Larry, Brent founded Corvus. So you can see we're in good hands here, guys. He founded Corvus. Corvus is an extremely well-known company.
He's no longer with Corvus now.
No.
Actually, I think he might still be a part of it investment-wise, but I don't think he's a part of it.
I'm not sure.
But he started Shift Clean Energy, so he basically started a competing company to Corvus.
Kendra's here. Hi, Kendra and Dan.
Hey,
huge hugs. They're good friends of ours from Victoria. So how long is it going to take to clean and repaint your engine room? Well, we're not repainting it.
Nope. No, well, we're repainting the walls, at least some of them anyway.
I think it's going to take me 2 days. So I really actually don't want to clean it until he cuts out the floorboards. And then we're thinking of bringing in a steam cleaner like we did before, and we're going to steam clean the heck out of this place. It's going to be interesting to see what the steam cleaner does to the old glue on the walls. I'm quite intrigued to see what the steam does.
I think the best thing is going to be to basically poly off the entire wood section up here, so we don't get any of the wood like super wet up top, and then we'll just close the doors and go to town in here.
It'll be so much fun.
Just go crazy. We did that already with the bilges under the engines, and they're still pretty clean. But we'll just go to town on the walls and see how much of the stuff we can get off.
There's a lot of stuff we want to do prior to cleaning it, but I don't think it's going to take that long to clean it.
No.
I think we're going to take a month though to get it all prepped and ready.
Oh, probably.
Embalmed. What a great name. Will there be a James Bond switch that turns the boat into a hydrofoil?
Hey, you know what? I'm ashamed. Well, no, I'm not ashamed. I have totally done calculations on what it would take to foil Tangaroa. Not that we will ever do it. I mean, if I ended up winning the lottery and billions of dollars, I might. But no, it's a fun little pipe dream I play with. I love the old the military ships. What is it? The U.S. made a few hydrofoils back in the day. I know. I can't remember the names of all of them, but they were the Pegasus class. And anyway, cool stuff.
Alf, we're going to cross to Japan in August. And I'm not allowed to say the H word because the people who did watch another video know that we're going to put a hopefully tax in place here on this boat,
Yeah.
because hopefully it's kind of an out. And so every time someone says hopefully during this retrofit, it's going to be a loonie in the bucket, and then that money will go to a local charity. It's going to be expensive.
It probably will.
We can't say the H word anymore.
No.
You need a flux capacitor.
Yeah, that would be
Okay, guys,
pretty
just
cool.
keep your eyes open. We're not going to tell you whether we put it in or not. Just keep your eyes open. Dave Benjamin, what are you going to use as stability since you removed the engines?
Actually, we will be going back in with more weight than what came out. So the stability will actually be back to where it was with the original Detroits. We'll be adding another 5,000 or 6,000 pounds of weight over the top of the Cummins that were in here. So we'll be right back to where the boat was kind of when it was made.
Yep, compared to fuel weight, because
Yep.
we'll still carry 3,000 gallons of fuel. And
Yep.
how many gallons of water do we carry?
1,300 gallons.
Yeah, we got a lot of fuel and water weight.
Yeah, and the
Liquid
beauty is if this works out, or I should say when this works out the way we anticipate it
Don't
to,
say the H word.
we'll have more fuel ballast for longer. So when we do big trips like across to Japan and we're doing a 10-day crossing, we'll have full ballasting of fuel as well and stabilizers.
Yep. Burdette says soundproofing will help. Yes, it will.
Mhm.
Blaine and I can probably
Huge.
have a conversation to each
I
other.
think we're actually going to do a false ceiling as well. So there'll be extra insulation between the engine room and the upper area too.
Now, Bryn is asking, don't you want sparkless bilge pumps, a 3-phase motor instead of brushed? The brushes make sparks.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that drives me nuts is the ability to get decent bilge pumps, or at least what I would consider decent. I mean, right now we have the big rule bilge pumps, but quite frankly, I've never been impressed with any of the bilge pumps available in the marine market. I would hands down take anything that's better than that. We did have a flexible impeller, like a rubber impeller crash pump that was installed on this boat when we bought it. None of it worked, so most of that's come out. We will probably put something back in again, and I've got much better motors now to play with.
Yeah, just Connie said, Brent, size of, this is a Brent question.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to come back to that if he shows up here. Okay, Connie, I got you covered. Aurora wants us to bring some Cabot Trail to Australia when we get there.
We can do that.
Stripe similar to around the Huel.
The hull. A red stripe around the bottom of the engine room, similar to the hull.
We are going to put, or I'm going to put a red stripe on the stack.
Yep.
Are you going to spray? No. See, people ask us, are you going to spray the outer walls with closed cell foam?
No,
Nope.
no spray foam. It's too difficult to deal with the kind of work that we're going to have to do later.
Yeah. And again, people want to be, it's okay, Central Frisbee or Can 2 Frisbee. Sorry if you've covered it, but how do you deal with condensation is exposed between the foam blocks sheets?
So the foam sheets will actually be glued to the hull. So there won't be an airspace there for condensation to build. I mean, obviously it's not going to be perfect. There will be the odd spot there. We're going to try to do some sort of possible vapor barrier in there as well. I can't say if that's going to work or not. I know it's used heavily in the automotive sector for doors and whatever else. We'll see.
What's really funny is we have actually a very dry boat because we live on board and we have heat going and everything. Like, we don't have condensation problems right now in the wintertime. Like, it is cold outside. It is pissing ass rain, and we do not have any condensation problems inside this boat.
That being said, the boat's not super hot right now either.
No, but you know what I mean.
It's dry. Yeah, the boat's pretty dry.
Yeah. Kendra wants to know if the day tanks are only tanks. No, they're not. They are only tanks. The day tanks.
No, we've got 5 tanks total. The 2 day tanks, and then we have 3 hull tanks from front to rear. The hull tanks are the big ones. The day tanks are 200 gallons apiece, just for stuff that we're using when we're underway.
Yep. Pippi, thank you so much for the call out about helping us out with the plexi. I'm going to take you up on something. I have an idea that I want to try. And JD does some great carvings. Also, we have one of his wood burning carvings actually hanging in the galley. Okay. Captain Bill's out on his lanai shorts and a Hawaiian shirt.
Does not look like Brent is joining us for the live.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe you can try answering Brent's question back here.
I can try.
Okay. Size of electric motors to replace the 400 horsepower 6.7 liter Cummins. Difference in weight distribution with battery bank and changes compared to the diesel engines.
So for the electric motors to replace the Cummins. Now I'm not sure if you mean the ones on our boat or somebody else's Cummins. We didn't have 400 horsepower Cummins. Ours were 250 horse, and even that was too much. So we're downsizing again with the electric motors. If you were to need replacement for something like that, if you were using the full 400 horsepower of those engines, there are motors available for that. You can get just about everything out there. Difference in weight with a battery bank, it should be pretty close to original specs on this boat. When we removed the Detroits and went to the Cummins, we lost, I think, 5,000 or 6,000 pounds on the boat, and it was definitely sitting higher in the bow. This is going to put us almost bang on to where we were with the Detroits, maybe even a tad bit heavier, not much, but it's all going to be very low in the boat as well, so it'll be fantastic for ballast as well.
So I'm writing this down to make sure they get it.
Yep. And then, I think that answered everything. Yep.
And I got everything written down in my shorthand.
I think at the end of the day, we might be like 1,000 pounds heavier than what the Detroits were, which on this boat is nothing.
No. Connie, is your AC electric wire you read that 14-2, 14/2? Okay, I'm gonna tell you a funny joke. A funny thing is the other day Blaine sent me to Green Line Hose and Fittings here, and I said, text me what fittings you need. So he texted something, and I'm reading this, and the guy's like, well, what do you need? I'm like, I need -10 caps. And he looks at me blankly. He's like, -10? I'm like, yeah, -10 caps, 6 of them. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, look. He's like, -10. I'm like,
you asked what I needed. I told you. It's all of our AC electric is 14.3 is what we use, which, I mean, it's the same basic conductor count as house cable. You have a ground wire, you have a neutral, and you have a hot. It's just the stuff on boats is 10 stranded cable rather than solid like what you'd see in a house.
Yep, and the gauge of wires, everything's the same?
14 gauge. Yep.
Okay. Burdette, we had 70.
Provided we're using 15 amp outlets.
Okay, these guys are all talking about weather, and I'm getting a bit jealous, you guys.
71 degrees in Florida.
I'm skipping past all the weather. Delos had another product they used for insulations for the areas they didn't want to spray foam for wire run access. You might look. I actually have samples coming in soon, and I do have, I'm getting that.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same stuff they use.
Yeah, and that's what we will use because it's so much easier to get off. And you know what? Maybe Delos 50 years down the line, whoever's going to have that boat is going to be swearing at the person who spray foamed it. Trust me. But that's 50 years down the line. Hopefully they don't have to do any welding on their hull or anything, or put in new through hulls or
it works great.
Through
don't
hulls.
Get me wrong, it works great. I just hate dealing with it.
The fire protection, that's a Brent question.
It is. I mean, there is with lithium batteries, it's less about fire protection and more about fire management. You're not going to put it out per se. The biggest thing is preventing it from catching fire in the first place, which is maintaining temperatures. And the big thing with that is getting a bank that's the best possible way that you can to prevent excess temperatures. Because it's when you get too hot and you get thermal runaway, and it can jump from cell to cell to cell. And then once that's happened, you're just, you can get fire suppression to slow it down, but you have to have plans in place to deal with that.
If you guys are Instagram people, I just put Osea Boats Instagram up on the screen. Please follow them. A lot of these questions will be answered on their Instagram, and I know we're sending you around and stuff, but it's better that if I send these questions right to them and they'll put it on their Instagram.
Okay. Just to quickly touch on that and a little bit on Brent's expertise on this as well. His current company, Shift Clean Energy, they make large battery banks. We're talking 1,000-volt battery banks for shipping. And he has patented cell cooling technology into his banks. So they're all water-cooled cell banks, but they're done in such a way that they are about the least prone for fire that you can possibly find. And they're still using NMC cells on there for power density. And you probably won't find a safer battery in the world for that kind of thing. Now you might ask why we're not using it. It's just because it's not designed for our application. It's the wrong tool for the job, but it would be pretty cool. And I will say I've had the benefit of looking into those batteries, and they are definitely built with the most high quality parts I have ever seen.
Yeah. If you end up buying from multiple suppliers for the refit, how do you work with overall management of the components, if that makes sense?
That's where it gets tough, and that's why we're looking at one company to supply the whole works. But basically, we need to make sure that every company that we be dealing with for individual components knows what other components it's going in with and provides us the necessary data to be able to integrate them with the other systems.
Now, TS, I don't know if it's Pickler or Pichler or T Spickler. Sorry. Love your channel. Enjoy all the tech talk and practical solutions you guys find to all different kinds of things. Will you ever paint the exterior of the boat again?
No. Brent thinks we're full of shit.
We have a bet.
But,
we have a bet with Brent. Brent thinks that if we paint the boat in the next 5 years,
he thinks we'll paint it in the next 5 or 10 years.
We actually have a bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. We like the look.
I think we have a crisp $20 bill on the
Yes.
line. Yeah. But no, probably not. We like the Bear, and especially the places that we're going where we're going to be tying up to fishing boats, tires, you name it, stress free for us.
I've first mate on we're back. Anyways, I worked as first mate on an aluminum boat. It was a lot of work maintaining paint around the world and buffing and polishing and all that stuff. And we don't want to do that, right? Mm-hmm. We use this boat to explore and have fun. And you guys are going to laugh because we're in the boatyard again. I like exploring and having fun, so does he, but he also likes ripping things apart. So we actually are enjoying the boat, even if we're in the boatyard.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people say, oh, well, you could have just bought a new boat and been out and enjoying it. This is enjoying it.
He's having so much fun.
I love this stuff. So different strokes for different folks. Just because we're doing this, don't think we're not enjoying it.
No. Nope.
Well, at least I am.
OSEA is promising a 10-year warranty. How is that possible when you don't even know what components will come from, let alone whether they'll work together?
Easy. They work with their suppliers when they're going with them. They either get that 10-year warranty from their suppliers or they supplement it themselves.
Yep.
They very much believe in supplying that to customers. So it's whatever the supplier will not give, they will supplement directly at OSEA.
That is part of the negotiations of working with suppliers, is that 10-year warranty, and it's big.
Yeah.
And Brent is a man of his word.
They don't always get it, which is why sometimes they have to supplement. But when you're dealing with big suppliers and you're moving products, a lot of times they will work with you.
Yep. Will this LifePo 4 upgrade? Is there going to be any issues with boat insurance? Many insurance companies refusing to cover boats with batteries on boats.
We're looking into a lot of that. We're in kind of a unique position because just due to the boat we have and the places that we're going, it is almost impossible for us to get like a replacement coverage or anything like that. We can get liability, and even that was difficult. Which we
run liability insurance. We can't get insurance right now, so we self-insure.
Cannot get replacement insurance on a boat of this age and the cruising that we're doing.
No, not right now, but we are looking more into it once the new system's in place. But we have liability insurance, so that allows us to go into marinas.
But that being said, for other people that are doing this work, Brent is working with insurance companies.
Yeah.
He's been involved in tons of work with insurance companies in the past through the commercial side of things on his lithium banks. So he is working with them to try to figure out what the next step is going to be with insurance companies and how we can make this all happen and make everybody
And
happy.
I anticipate that we will all have insurance.
Yeah.
In the near future. So, but to ask a question is insurance companies are starting to get on board.
Yeah.
They're understanding that lithium is the way of the future, right?
Yeah.
So they are starting to come on board. And if they're not Canadian insurance companies, they're looking abroad like Lloyd's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We could have got Lloyd's insurance for this boat, yes, but it was like $20,000 to $24,000 a year for replacement.
Yeah.
And I'd rather take the $24,000 a year, put it in a bank account, and make interest on it and self-insure, because 24,000 would have been 8 years, and that was the value of. Anyways, that's my math in my head. Are you going to put more solar on the boat?
Yes, I'm going to put as much solar as I can get up there. I'd ideally like to see 10 kilowatts, but that's going to be challenging. I'll need some sort of mechanical wings that can come out to increase solar footprint, because I just don't have the deck space for that much solar.
Nope. Cruising Northwest says Brent has made lots of promises about increased efficiency and reduced fuel consumption, but you're finding that generators aren't as fuel efficient as expected. What gives? We're not using them as much.
No, it's not. That's
How do you explain that?
That's two different things. It's not that the generators are inefficient per se, because they could be just as efficient as one of our motors. Where the comparison there is, it's impossible to compare that. And some of them may be calculating that efficiency based on electrical, so they're adding in that conversion loss. So it's just tough to say, and we don't have enough of that information yet. Ideally, though, we'll be going with DC generators and with more efficient motors to drive them, which is the whole point of this exercise. But even one of the more inefficient generators would still be more efficient than what our engines are when they're running at 20% load. And we'd only be running one of them.
Yeah, we're not running them as much. And also we can go at 5 to 6 hours at 8 knots.
Yep.
That will go with no generators running.
Yep.
So if you go 5 to 6 hours, like that's a good day for us of traveling between. And then we got solar and stuff. So it's just not using them as much.
The point there for me is it's not that these generators are per se terrible. It's just that I know we can do better. And with this project, and especially the visibility that we're going to have on this, I think the way to go is the best possible that we can get, just to show people what is possible, and then people can make decisions from there.
Yeah, we're going to go. I'm looking at the time here. It's almost 7 o'clock here this time. You've got 25 minutes till 7. We haven't eaten dinner, so we're going to go for another 25 minutes. I'm going to flip through some questions of maybe some of the new people that I don't recognize the names. But yeah, okay. And say hi to some people, the new names, like Tony, right? Great progress so far. Thank you. Dwayne, thank you very much. Green Scene Man, when you get back to New Zealand, yes, we will be getting back to New Zealand.
Stick on some hydrofoils.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll go with this one. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is a good question.
You going to read it or am I?
So the reason why
I'll read it. You haven't read it.
Oh,
Blaine, I've been
sorry.
following this, and at first it was 200 kilowatt an hour to 240, and then later 200, and now we're hearing 400, and it sounds like you will want 400.
So the answer to that is the initial numbers that we were going off of were spec for the boat. So we were saying we need this much to push the boat. The reason why that's changing is because batteries are available in specific modules, and we are looking for specific voltages. So when you add up these modules to get these voltages, you end up with X amount of kilowatt hours, because there's no adjustment to that. They're X amount of kilowatt hours per module, and when you start adding them up for voltages and paralleling them for voltages, they just end up being higher numbers. It's what's available is basically what I'm getting at there.
Now I'm going to give you this question because I have to go pee.
Okay. Thanks for
Andy
sharing.
says, sorry, that's honest. Andy says, will this result in a standard power package the public can purchase off the shelf?
I would say eventually, yes. We have so many things in the works right now, and there is a very good possibility that these products will be available to the general public as a proven platform. So yeah, 100%. Keep an eye open for them. I'll keep going without Janice here. Let's see. Agree. No EGR. If I can avoid it, I certainly will. The biggest thing is with the EGR is making sure that you catch it before it kills an engine. But yeah, if we don't have to run it, we won't. However, if we're finding engines that have substantially better efficiency but need to have that, we will look into those as well. You have to also keep in mind that the engines that we're running, they're running at peak efficiency points, which will inherently be cleaner burning as well. So they'll be less nasty everywhere. What else we got here? What size are we targeting for DC generators? Currently looking at 50 kilowatt per generator in the probably four generator range. There's also the potential of doing, say, 2 75 kilowatt generators and 150, but we want to stay kind of around the 50 mark for at least one of the generators, because that's our happy place pushing the boat, where we can run it and we're not suffering charge discharge losses on the batteries as well.
We got some new names here. Fred. I don't think I've seen Fred's name. I would remember that one.
Yep.
Fred Apple says, a simple question for a simple mind. You have a simple mind, I guess.
I do, yeah.
Are the combustion engines driving the props directly, or will electric motors drive the props?
Electric motors driving the props. Yeah. No direct link between the mechanicals and the shafts.
Okay, a lot of people are loving the 3 videos.
Perfect.
We'll keep doing 3 videos, guys.
Looks like you're not
I love
really
this
helping
community.
as much.
Sorry, I love this community.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. You could post every day and I'd enjoy it.
She'd lose her mind.
I can't do every day because I'm actually starting school next week at Royal Roads University. So
yeah, she's going to have lots going on. She already does.
George Aurora, you guys and your names. It's just down the road from.
That next one there, most efficient way to generate.
Okay, so this is a new one too. Engine Eric's.
Yeah.
The most efficient way to generate DC presently, affordably, would be a 3-phase synchronous gen head with SICFET inverter. This would enable the DC output to match the battery at any power level.
Yeah, and this is what we're looking into for the DC side. It's pretty much exactly what we're looking into.
And like he adds, turbine APUs are not near as efficient as piston.
No, not for that stuff. No. 100% agree. That's the way to go with it, and that's where we're leaning. It's just nobody makes that in the sizes that we need for a marine gen set. So we're going to be breaking some ground here.
So Giorgio is in Burra. It's going to roll the R's. Do say B-U-R-R-A. Say that.
Burra.
Nice. And I'll say Ororu.
Ororu.
I got it.
Perfect.
Do electric motors require cooling?
Yes. Yeah, and pretty much anything in the kilowatt ranges that we're looking at, they do use cooling. That's whether it be a closed loop cooling system with ATF or with water ethylene glycol. Yes, it'd be closed loop, and we would end up doing like a heat exchanger. So they'd be seawater cooling the ethylene glycol, cooling the motor.
Now Steve says he's late because he just watched US kick the crap out of Canada curling. Did they really? Women's or men's? We need to know.
I don't know. I don't really watch curling.
Blaine doesn't get curling.
I get it. It doesn't tickle my fancy.
I love curling. Okay, he came in at the end here. Engine Erics, you got some great comments. I worked with an Austrian company, Obrist Engineering, to develop a compact DC genset called the ZVG. They have 2 variants. One is 45 kilowatt electrical. It's a 2-cylinder piston engine.
Okay.
I doubt they'd consider selling you one, but it shows the present state of the art.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff out there.
Look up.
The problem is the marine industry is so far behind everything. It's quite sad, actually. Automotive is breaking ground in so many places. It's pretty exciting stuff, but yeah, we're way behind the times in the marine sector.
Yep. Sam Wilson Peer Pressure. What a great name. I have a 40-foot width Elco 40 electric motor that converts DC to 3 PHAC for the actual 3-phase. Thank you. AC for the actual motor. Very easy to control speed.
Yeah, that's the typical for a lot of this stuff. For the high powered stuff anyway. I know some of the smaller ones are using DC brushed motors and stuff like that, but most of the big motors and good motors are all using a 3-phase drive of some description based off of a DC bus with converter.
Running Wrenches says we should look at Hackaday, as there's a few stabilizer projects you may want to look at if you haven't already.
I've looked at a couple of them. It's been a little while, though. I have to get back into that again.
Yeah. You've been a bit busy designing this engine room.
Yeah, I brushed off my MP labs the other day. So
I know. The best efficiency is up to high 90s. So if you do the math on a 95% motor, 5% of that power is heat.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing right now in a lot of the areas is 95 to 96% efficiency on a lot of these things. I think Borg Warner was working on some of their motors now. With the new technology, I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, they're seeing combined efficiency controller motors in the 94 to 96 range, which is pretty impressive.
Rocky wants to know, are you concerned at all with the stands underneath your boat going from very heavy to light and then back to heavy?
Not really, no. They block it up pretty good. We didn't have any issues last time either, pulling the Detroits out and then putting Cummins back in.
We've been having some good windstorms and stuff. We've had no issues.
Yeah.
They actually, being the back of the boat too is flat underneath, we actually are sitting on top of stands this way also.
Yeah, we got blocks under the keel and then stands on the side.
Yeah.
Conformal coating and potting.
Conformal coating or potting is absolutely wanted in anything marine. I wouldn't even consider automotive or industrial products without it.
Yep. And the funny thing is there's parts in the marine industry, none of that. It's wild. And like I said, Victron, like the inverters we use, as far as I know, they've got no coating on any of those. But they're not listed as marine specific either.
Nope. I'm popping through some names here. Gary, do you need additional ventilation for battery gases and also fire suppression system? I think we chatted a bit about the fire.
So there's gassing, which these batteries don't do normally. If they're gassing, bad things have happened. The rack mounts that we're looking at with possibly working with Roy Powell, they do have vents designed for venting in case of a failure. I mean, whether or not they're going to be as effective as what they would hope, I can't say. But if we go with those batteries, we will be using those vents as well.
Now, Engineerics has been really nice. He's been answering some questions for us, but this is one of the questions he answered. He said that there's no credible solid-state battery system in production yet, because Empire Aerial asked, have you looked into solid-state battery tech?
Yeah, and Brent commented on this on one of our last lives. Solid-state batteries, they apparently are what they say they are. They're pretty cool new technology coming out, but they're not ready for full-on use yet. They've still got to work out some things on them. I'd imagine it's probably going to be in a couple of years before we're going to really start seeing those begin to take off.
Yeah, and RV Sparky, thank you so much for the donation. Like, you're right, the super chat, you're right. There is no better motivation in building something that someone's saying it can't be done. Mm-hmm. And I think we really want to put, I can't remember his first name, Bernard Shaw, his saying outside of the wall. We want to hit it before we go in the engine room. His saying says,
those who say it can't be done should not interrupt those who are doing it.
Look at us saying it. And that's exactly what we believe in. Those who say it shouldn't be done should not interrupt those who are doing it.
Yeah.
I think and I know we're doing it. And I can't wait to this build to be done.
That was my saying when I was building cars too.
Yeah. And trust me, he built some crazy ass cars that a lot of people said, you can't do that. Like that ugly Porsche.
Oh, Coyote Ugly.
Yeah. What did you put into it?
That one wasn't all that special. That was a Coyote 5-liter and a Porsche 928.
What was your most crazy car build? Why go back to here?
But somebody actually asked that?
No, I'm asking you, what's your craziest thing you did with a car that people said, no, you can't do that?
I mean, I'd say the craziest would probably be Kyle's car, which is a twin-charged individual throttle body Toyota Soarer running a Toyota 1JZ engine that's got all sorts of sensors to make that twin charger setup happen.
And he's not being arrogant or anything. No, he actually truly just just doing this.
So much fun.
Okay, because I know, he just has fun doing it. And I think that one was on Roads
Untraveled.
Roads Untraveled is one of the most popular videos. Sailing Esperanza, we are in Steveston. It is our favorite place.
Right on.
And hi, by the way.
Come by and say hello.
Yeah, it's our favorite place to haul out.
We're at Port Authority. So
Port Authority in Steveston. Great prices, great everything, great people, love everything about it. Great showers, best hot water pressure. Bill says, on the battery racks, have you considered a slide out rack so you could have a couple deep bank? It could intrude into your space more, but would keep weight lower in the boat.
I think we can get away with lower weight without having to double them up. I think we're already going to be pretty tight for space in that range because we still got to get the generators in here. And quite frankly, we want space in the front up here for washer and dryer and other things because it has been a nightmare with that, the way that it was configured. So we're looking forward to having that much more accessible. But I think if we do just 3 rows of, I guess it'd be 6 batteries, we can keep it pretty low and still get it as close to the wall as possible.
Emerald Seafoods is back again, guys. Go to their Facebook. It is so cool watching their videos about catching fish. This is such a cool project, and we are really looking forward to seeing the results and components that go into it. We are also looking into diesel hybrid combination for one of our fishing vessels. Awesome.
Yep.
Please come on board when we get to Kodiak.
Yep.
Yeah, we would love to show you.
Definitely talk to Brent. Like his main background is commercial stuff.
It's commercial boats.
So he's got a massive wealth of experience in that stuff.
Again, Bryn asks, what I mean to ask is, could you use Cat 6 cable instead of NEMA cable to save monies, maybe on non-critical stuff only?
For sure. Yeah, I don't see that being an issue. I mean, you can buy that stuff by the box pretty cheap. And I've got all the tools to connectorize it all here. So yeah, totally good.
Okay. Chuck says, what am I studying? I am going to Royal Roads University for certificate in project management.
A little late if you ask me, but.
SVT mob. Let's collaborate and do some merch, anchor, and thread company. Email me at crew@onboardtown-girl. We are very, just email me. Shipping using. I do use Fourth Wall right now, which I've been quite happy with. If you're talking about merch. Sorry, I'm going right through here. Janella Landscaping. No, wait. Janella Escapade is watching from Perth. Hi.
Welcome.
Damien, congratulations.
He was just mentioning.
He's commenting a lot on people's questions.
For the
He's answering a lot.
The Cat 5.6 flooded would be really good for the marine sector for sure.
Lady Luna is here. Hey guys.
Welcome back.
I know, open canvas. Think of Rembrandt or Picasso. It is going to be crazy. Hey, we're almost there, guys. Okay. One last comment from Legend Eric's. Actually, these are really, you smart dude.
Yep.
The most important thing for a large battery bank is having enough ventilation. LFP is safer than Tournai. Tournai?
I don't know that one by name, but.
But if one large cell has a separator failure, it can produce enough toxic gas to kill it.
Oh yeah, and it produces it fast.
Oh, Ternary.
I think Brent was talking about, like, he's done a lot of killing batteries in testing with his systems, and he was giving us numbers on how much gas they produce and how rapidly they produce it. It is shocking. So yeah, those vents will be used on the batteries, and they will be plumbed quite likely out of the stack up top and overboard. But that being said, if the temperature gets high enough, who knows what's going to happen there? It could burn through something.
Yep.
Let's just try to make that not happen.
And the last is from one of our favorites, Running with Wrenches. I really admire you two for taking so much courage and or sanity to take on a project like this. Either way, it's awesome. I think what's insane about us is doing it out in public.
Yep.
Because
somebody's got to do it.
We actually are very private people. This is why we live on a boat off the beaten path. So the fact that we're putting this out in public and showing that this can be done, the comments, like, we are opening ourselves up to the woohooers and the
Well, exactly. And in the future, anybody that gets the can just point back to this video and say, hey, it worked for those guys.
Yeah, and we also, you know what, and we've had people come over and visit, which is great. Ned Wraith was here, James and Morgan. We had Peter.
Jamie and Morgan.
Sorry, people want to call him James. Peter was here yesterday. He just dropped by. He wanted to see the boat. We met him at a boat show. He dropped by and he just stayed for a couple hours helping with the electrical.
Helping wire,
it was awesome.
Wire the tent panel.
We really appreciate that. We are in Steveston. Oh no, I'm sorry, Rob. YouTube didn't give him notice. I'm sorry. Mistake. Holy cow, guys. Running with Branches, mistake make in public our learning experience. You're right. And we do put our mistakes out in public. Trust me. We are putting the good it's not always good. Okay. But that's great, guys. Thank you so much. Like, I'm going to leave it at that. Let the haters hate. Again, the Wall of Power is coming up if you want your name on it. Again, this is a crowd-funded project. We really appreciate everybody. We also appreciate our members and all the YouTube members. It's $10 a month. We will put you up on the credits also. And those who join our First Mate Club. Sorry, I'm falling off my installation here.
We're literally sitting on the old engine room fans.
Yeah.
Not chairs.
No, those who follow and become First Mates, and a couple of you have, which we really appreciate it. You get your name on the wall, but you also get like a hoodie. With your name saying First Mate on it, and a T-shirt.
Just to be clear,
twice a year we send you a surprise gift, and you don't even know when it's coming. It just shows up in the mail. The last one I sent was really cool because it was from Alaska, and it was a really cool orca mug, and there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, you sent postcards.
I know. Oh yeah, all our members got postcards from Alaska, which is really cool.
And
not
just
the
so
YouTube
you guys
members.
know, if your name is up on the Wall of Power, it's permanent.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's there.
That's not coming down. Like, it's for the whole time we have the boat. That is going to be up.
You will see your name there. Anybody who comes in, all the videos of it, your name is right there. It's kind of like
a minute.
I know. So again, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Yes, Anchor Thread, reach out at crew@onboardtongaroa.com is our email. And do we want to say anything else? I think we covered it.
I think that's got everything.
Yeah, you guys
Stay
are amazing.
Tuned. Lots more coming.
Yes, I will work on that video coming out Wednesday. We'll keep doing 3 videos a week and 1 live. And thank you. We'll see you guys later.
Later,
We're
everybody.
going to go eat.
Wrong button.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
Wrong
And scream.
button. First time.